was near double that in our C7 minks, but also remember that due to the experimental design of sacrificing these mice 40 days after the primary tumor develops, and these mice got primary tumor about 13 days later than these guys are, not only do the C7 minx mice have half the metastatic tumor burden of the BALB/c, but they're also 2 weeks older. And down here are just representative examples from each group showing the average sizes. The BLAK6 had significantly smaller, and the BALB/c we just had more of the larger metastases. There was a good spread. So actually in conversations with Dr. Crawford, who visited last year, he was part of the original group that did the strain survey at the NIH. And we talked about what else we could do to kind of get at this, and we decided to just go ahead and do a hard cutoff experiment anyway. Just that we would expect that there would be differences given the latency differences that we saw previously. So now these animals aren't going to be given equal opportunity to metastasize. We're going to just sacrifice all the transgenic positive tumor animals at 70 days and see if there are differences in tumor growth, tumor size. And then subsequently, we isolated primary tumor epithelial cells, and then we're going to basically analyze those cells to do bioenergetic profiling, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So here again, we're looking at total animal weight, and this is primary cumulative tumor weight. And we see that the FBB BALB/c animals are now significantly different in both. Certainly the difference in tumor weight accounts for a small amount of the difference in total animal weight. But it is interesting that the tumor weight was near double that of our FEV baseline, which isn't entirely unexpected. This is kind of a cool double check, because basically these BALB/c animals, if they're getting tumors sooner, right, we would expect them to perhaps be larger, especially because we showed previously that they weren't growing at different rates. What's somewhat contradictory to that conclusion is that we observed a similar tumor size in our C7 minks as we did to the FEV. But looking back at the original study with the 40-day experiment, that they were not significantly different, but the BLAK6, the C7 BLAK6 minx animals did have slightly larger tumors, so that could account for some of it. But I would expect here with a greater N that we might see this kind of come up a little bit. And this is not a repeat of the previous latency report, just for emphasis. This is another independent study of all of these mice that were included, and we were able to exactly repeat our findings that the FEV had a 56-day latency. We had a significantly delayed onset in our FEB C7 BLAK6 minx animals, and we had an accelerated onset in our BALB/c minx animals.